Hey, what's up you guys? So in this video, we're going to be going over and talking about the single biggest wealth killer that is going to prevent you from getting rich and building wealth for yourself. So sit back, relax, find that red subscribe button right here on the bottom right side of your screen. Give that red subscribe button a quick tap for me so that way YouTube will notify you each and every time I upload a video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright you guys, so what exactly am I talking about and what am I referring to specifically when I say that this thing right here is the single biggest threat to yours and mine ability to be able to get rich and build wealth for ourselves? Well, what I'm talking about and this thing is, it's consumer or personal or individual consumer type debt. So what is a few examples of consumer, personal, or individual type debts? So what this is going to look like, it's going to look like, getting caught up in credit card debt. It's going to look like, going out and purchasing or financing, a vehicle, going out and buying a car, financing that car, making the payments on that car. It's going to be things like, purchasing a home. And you might think, oh, well, a home is an investment in my family. But the reality is that purchase of your home, it's not making you money, it's costing you money. So that's why purchasing a home definitely falls in that category. It's going to be things like, hopefully none of you guys are doing it, but it's going to be things like going out and doing payday loans, getting your paycheck fronted to you early, and then after you have to repay back, that paycheck, but with interest. So it's going to be like all of these different types of things, right? So these are examples of consumer type debt or individual or personal debt, and all of these debts, none of them make you money. This is not like investment type debts, like as if you were to invest into like a rental property or something like that. It's nothing like that. Or taking out like a business loan, and then that way you can start your business or buy the products or whatever is necessary for you to run your business so you can make money. This is nothing like that. This is taking on debt or getting involved in debt personally for just like self-fulfillment or just for like self-gratification, or it could even be things like, vacations and things like that, that is going to be for your family, or even just for you could have peace of mind and relax and take some time off. But anyways, none of these things are going to make you money. And this is the single biggest, greatest threat to an individual's, overall chance and ability to be able to get rich and build wealth. Now, why is this the case? Well, we're going to go over that right now. All right, you guys. So now let's talk about why I say that taking on consumer type debt or individual or personal type debt is such a big threat to your overall ability to get rich and build wealth for yourself. So the reason why I say that is because you need as much money free and available to you for you to invest, so then that way you grow your net worth and ultimately build wealth for yourself and end up getting rich, right? Like that is the goal, that is the point. So how can you do that when you are taking on something like personal or individual or consumer type debts? Because as you take on these personal consumer type debts and you get yourself, in student loans, or you're using your credit card out there just shopping and, just out there buying a bunch of unnecessary type things and going on vacations and taking trips and, just online shopping, buying a bunch of unnecessary type items. Well, that's all money that you are spending out there that is not making you any money whatsoever. And that every dollar that you end up, committing towards paying back those debts, that's $1 less now that you have to be able to put or invest towards your investments. That's going to ultimately build and grow your net worth. And then ultimately what it comes down to is like, okay, so you can't out earn however much you're spending if you just continue to just spend everything that you make. So if you're making, say $5,000 a month and you're spending $5,000 a month, where's your opportunity? Where's your availability to get rich and build wealth for yourself? It doesn't exist, because there is no margin. There is no gap between the amount of money that you are earning and the amount of money that you are spending. Now, let's just say, for example, you're like, oh, okay, well, can't I just make more money? Well, yeah, but what exactly do you think is going to happen when you never address like the issue that you are spending more money or you are spending exactly what you make? So if you don't treat like the root cause of this problem, what's ultimately going to happen is you're going to, hustle harder. You might even take on another job, or you might just work more at your current job, and then, or work harder at your current job to earn more money. And okay, so great. So now maybe you go from like, say, $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month to like $10,000 a month, right? So you do that. Well, because now you're making like basically double the income, But because you never dealt with the root cause problem in the situation, like you never dealt with the root of the problem, well, now you're going to find yourself, it might not happen immediately, but it's going to happen, as you give it some time. Your spending is just going to rise to your income because you're never dealing with it. Like you've never dealt with that core part of you and your spending habits. So like I said, your spending is going to rise to your income. So now that you're making 10 grand a month, your spending is going to rise to 10 grand a month. And then again, where's your availability, or where's the free and clear income that you have available to you, so that way you can use that income to start building wealth for yourself? You don't have any. That means you do not have money to save up for a down payment, for an investment property, to be able to invest in real estate. It means you don't have any money that is free and clear that you could commit to investing into the stock market. You have no free and clear income or money, in other words, to be able to invest so that we could grow it and ultimately build and grow your net worth and ultimately end up rich. And this is why I say the single greatest threat to an individual's ability to get rich, build wealth for themselves, and ultimately grow their net worth comes down to an individual and how much. It's not how much money you make, it's how much consumer type debt and how much consumer spending that you just, that how much of your money you spend on just consumer type products that are unnecessary. I'm not talking about things that are essential items in your life. You need to, have a place to stay. You need food, you need shelter, you need, clothes on your back. You need these things, right? You might need a vehicle. I'm not talking about these things, but I'm talking about when you go beyond that, basic standard of living, and you just start spending an excessive amount of your income on these consumer type, items and products, and then even worse, going into debt to acquire these things. And this is the single greatest threat to an individual's ability to get rich and build wealth for themselves. So now that we know, by doing these things and taking on this consumer type debt, what is the very best thing that we can do to not do these things and not take on this consumer type debt and put ourselves in a situation where we could ultimately get rich and build wealth for ourselves? Alright guys, so now this is the part in the video where we address that we already know that getting caught up in consumer type debt and doing things like credit cards and student loans and racking up all that type of debt that's not going to make us any money. We know that's the problem, right? So what do we know that we want to stay away from that, and we know we don't want to do any of that. So what do we do going forward so that way we could set ourselves up and put ourselves in a situation where we can begin to build wealth? So like we just mentioned, the very first thing you want to do is swear off the idea that you will ever go into debt going forward, spending any of your income on consumer type debts. No more student loans, no more getting, swiping your credit card to getting into debt. If you can't pay off that credit card each and every single month and still not have some kind of free and clear income that's going to be going towards your investments, you're not buying it. You're not going to be practicing those type of habits anymore. You're just getting rid of all of those old ways of thinking, when it comes to spending your money or getting into debt just to acquire or just to get type of things that are not going to things that are going to be beneficial to you or that are not going to help you, make money or build wealth. So does this mean that you're never going to, spend money or buy things, that you want, or that you're never going to go on a vacation, or you're never going to go out to eat? No. But what I'm saying is you have to completely get rid of and throw away the idea that you are going to take on any more consumer type debts unless they're going to be consumer type debts that are going to make you money. But you're not doing consumer type debts that are going to be things like we just mentioned: student loans, credit card debts, vacations, shopping online, whatever have you. But it's none of those things, we're cutting all those out. We're just, ridding ourselves of that. That's no longer part of your financial life. Now, going forward, like I said, that's first and foremost, we're cutting that out. Now, next, what you want to do is be okay, you got to take a real hard look at your individual financial life. My finances is going to look completely different than yours, and yours is going to look, your financial life is going to look different than the next person's, and so on and so forth, right? So you want to take a very hard look at your financial life, look at the income that you make and actually bring home each and every single month, and then say, okay, I need to create as big of a gap as possible between the amount of money that I'm making each and every single month and bringing home and how much money I'm spending each and every single month. So, like in an ideal situation, let's just say, okay, an individual is bringing home, or actually it's being deposited into their bank account, 5 grand a month, right? And right now they're spending all 5 grand each and every single month. So after you take a look, you might be like, okay, I'm gonna, cut this thing out. I'm gonna make this adjustment. I'm gonna stop doing this thing or the other. And then ultimately you find a way to be like, okay, I'm making and bringing home 5 grand a month, but I'm gonna make the necessary adjustments, and now I'm gonna get that down to 4 grand a month. So you're making 5 and you're spending 4 each and every single month. So you did a great job, getting rid of unnecessary expenses and wasteful spending. So now you have one free and clear $1,000 each and every single month that you can now start to put to use, so that way you could start to begin to build wealth by investing into assets that are going to grow your net worth for you. So does that mean you're going to commit the whole $1,000 to just building wealth and investing and growing your net worth? Probably not, because aside from your like mandatory living expenses, you're going to still want to do some things. You're going to want to still, enjoy life. So this is not about like just cutting out all spending aside from like your mandatory living expenses. But out of that free and clear $1,000, what you would want to do is you want to say, okay, what dollar amount out of this do I want to commit each and every single month to the sole purpose out of this, dollar amount is going to be specifically and only for this money to go towards investments that are going to be for ultimately you building wealth and getting rich. And you want to like automate this process, because if you don't like automate it and have it set up automatically, trust me, you're going to end up missing, you're going to come up with the reason, well, I'm not going to do it this paycheck because of this reason. And then, oh, well, you know what, I'll make it up on the next one, or I'll double it up, and so on and so forth. And it's like, don't even play that game. Rather than trying to say, oh, I'll do it sometimes here and sometimes there, for and maybe you're trying to commit to like a higher dollar amount, your best bet would to just come up with the dollar amount that that you can do comfortably and consistently, month after month, or paycheck after paycheck, or however it is that you want to set it up, and automate that process. But you want to automate it. You want it to like come from your checking account and go into your stock market account, or you want to have it go from your checking account into some other savings account. So I don't know what type of asset class you guys want to get involved into, when you want to like look at start investing and building wealth for yourself. But I could tell you guys what I do. I have some money each and every single week, it's automatically withdrawn. It goes straight into my stock market investing account. I have another set of amount of money that goes strictly like drafted from my checking account, and it goes into another type of saving account, so I could just build up and save money for my down payment on the next investment property. And this just happens each and every single week. Like I don't go on there every week and make this happen. Like it happens automatically. So you guys want to set up something like that, so automatically each and every time you get paid, or once a month or bi-weekly, or however, you want to have some system in place where automatically every month you have some amount of money that is for sure guaranteed to be set aside specifically towards going to the investments that you want to be in, that you want to be involved in. That's going to be the investment asset class that you want to use, so that way you could start building wealth. So if you want to buy an investment property, then you need to like say, okay, I need to have a separate savings account, and that's where my money specifically is going for my down payment for that piece of real estate property. Or if hey, I want to get involved in the stock market, I'll put a link to the investing platform M1 Finance down in the description box below, as well as in the pinned comment below. You guys could click that link, sign up with M1 Finance, so that way you could have your stock market investing brokerage account, deposit your money, and start investing. And like you could have that money go directly from your checking account right into like your M1 Finance investing account, and you just automatic like clockwork, your money will just go from your checking account into your stock market investing account. And then that's where you're going to be able to build wealth. I mean, the stock market and real estate are two of the very greatest asset classes that individuals can use to build wealth for yourself. So that's why I always mention those two on my channel, and they're my two favorite asset classes. And like I just mentioned to you in this video, I have money committed to those each and every single month, each and every single week. So this is the type of actions, and this is what you want to do if you want to stop taking on consumer type debt and put yourself in a really great, strong financial position where you could then begin to invest into assets and begin to build wealth for yourself. So hey, if you guys did not earlier, find that thumbs up button right beneath the video. Give that thumbs up button a quick tap for me. Also, find right here on the bottom right side of the screen, hit that red subscribe button. Give that red subscribe button a quick tap for me so that way you'll be notified by YouTube each and every time I upload a video. And if you guys would like to watch another video from me, click this video that pops up here on the screen and I will catch you guys in that next video.